Hello, welcome to Examining Fictional Heroes and the authors behind them. My name is Wayne Browder. I believe I have 2 more episodes covering Sons of the Hawk by Robert E. Howard. Tonight, I'm going over the final chapter of the story. Next week, God willing, I'll be breaking down some points from the things that I have shared with you during the series that I dedicated to this story. The final chapter of this story ends in a similar fashion to the story The Daughter of Erlich Khan, which is also a Gordon story by Robert E. Howard, also published in this book. And that Gordon is fighting serious exhaustion to get through this adventure, he and his men, as before. Gordon's endurance was amazing. Bodies and nerves were numb for rest and sleep. As I discussed before, when you stretch yourself, that is the way you become. His eyes swept his phantom crew with a strange remorse. They looked like dead men. They reeled on their feet, their heads swimming with exhaustion and dizziness. "Sorry about it all," he said. "Sorry, Brent." "Stockton was my friend," said Brent. And then he could have cursed himself had he had the strength. It sounded so trite, so melodramatic. "Al, I'm sorry," said Gordon. "Sorry for all you men." Al lifted his head like a lion throwing back his mane. "Nay, El-Barak, you made a king of me. I was but a glutton and a sot, dreaming dreams I was too timid and too lazy to attempt. You gave me a moment of glory. It is worth all the rest of my life." And shortly thereafter, their enemies catch up with them. Brent fired and missed, scored a hit, and missed again. His hands shook with weakness, and his eyes played him tricks. But Gordon was not missing. It seemed to Brent that every time the Colt crashed, a man screamed and fell. Brent saw Ali Shah shoot Al Khan through the body as they came face to face. And Al Khan, dying on his feet, split his enemy's head with one tremendous stroke of his tulwar, so they fell together. Brent saw Gordon cut down the black-bearded Yusufzai captain and spring at Muhammad ez-Zahir with a hate too primitive to accord his foe an honorable death. He parried Muhammad's tulwar and dashed his saber guard into the Afghan's face. Killing his man was not enough for his berserk rage. All his roused passion called for a dog's death for his enemy. And like a raging fury, he battered the Afghan back and down with blows of the guard and hilt, refusing to honor him by striking with the blade, until Muhammad fell and lay with broken skull. Gordon lurched about to face down the slope, the only man on his feet. He stood swaying on wide-braced feet among the dead and shook the blood from his eyes. They were as red as flame burning on black water. He took a fresh grip on the bloody hilt of his saber and glared at the horsemen spurring up the canyon. At bay at last, drunken with slaughter, and conscious only of the blind lust to slay, and slay before he himself sank in the red welter of his last grim fight. However, at that point, his men come to their rescue and save them from that predicament, and with fresh horses, they are able to outrun their pursuers. So, that ends the story Sons of the Hawk by Robert E. Howard. As I said, hopefully next week I'm going to pull all the pieces together, or the points that I want to make from the story. Thank you for listening. I appreciate any comments or questions or anything of that nature. Follows are great. If you have anything that I've gone over, that if you've read the story and would like to add anything, I'd be interested to hear that. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a good night.